What's going on, everyone? So Rui Hachimura has had his struggles in the first two games against the Denver Nuggets. Right, first game gave him a pass, right? Because he was defending Jokic. That's very exhausting and tiring in and of itself. He's got to basically handle this mountain of a human, and then you're expecting him to have some level of impact on the offensive side, and it's tough, right? It's tough for a star to do, let alone you're asking a role guy to really step up, play defense, and then also get some scoring done on the offensive side. You look at Rui, and in 31 minutes, he had 7 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 of 4 from the field, 1 of 2 from three in game one. And then when you fast forward into game two, that was the game that he was really bad. That's the game, in my opinion, is inexcusable, right? Because he played 38 minutes, gave you 3 points, 5 rebounds, 1 of 7 from the field, 0 of 2 from 3-point range, right? That's just, you're not going to get anything done. He was also the only minus in the starting unit as a -7. He's just getting bodied on both sides of the basketball, but he's also just missing so many easy gimmies. He had like 3 that come to mind that stand out, like just point blank layups that he just botched, right? That he usually makes and finishes through. And we can't have that from Rui, especially in this series against Denver, and expect to win, right? Said it from day one. We go as far as our role guys take us. Right? LeBron James and Anthony Davis have done a great job playing and maintaining compared to Jokic and Jamal Murray. Both of them, in my opinion, have outplayed Jokic and Jamal Murray. But you've seen like Michael Porter Jr., KCP, Aaron Gordon, like these guys are the difference makers. They're the ones that are stepping up and doing what is necessary in order to be the deciding factor in the game. We need Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, and D'Angelo Russell, who D'Angelo Russell bounced back in game two. Hopefully that continues going forward. We need the same thing from a Rui Hachimura, from an Austin Reeves. But this is a series that, in my opinion, is a very favorable one for Rui, because they're either having A, Aaron Gordon defending him, or B, Michael Porter Jr., which more times than not, it's Michael Porter Jr., right? Aaron Gordon usually has his hands full with LeBron or Anthony Davis. And Michael Porter Jr. he can't contain Rui Hachimura, right? He definitely has the size and the length, but he doesn't have the strength in that lower center of gravity to really kind of bother Rui. And you've seen Rui just basically bully him to the basket and kind of get in position to where he wants to be, just hasn't been able to find and hit the shots. So I said it with D'Angelo Russell. I'm going to say the same thing with Rui Hachimura. I think Rui Hachimura bounces back. I think that this is going to be a good game from Rui. Now, I'm not necessarily saying he's going to go drop 20 or 30, but I do think he'll be efficient and he'll actually make an impact out there on the basketball court. I think this is a game where he at least gets into double digits, and I think he's going to be a guy that kind of shows like, hey, those 2 games, my bad. That was on me. Let me bounce back. Let me show you who I really am and be what he was during the regular season, which was an efficient, effective, kind of versatile X factor type player for the Lakers. And I really need to see that from him, but I do trust Rui and do believe he can be that for the Lakers. Now, it's also about opportunity, right? Like, he's got to have the opportunity and actually get the basketball and be able to be put in a position to have an impact on the offensive side of things, right? You look at game 2, he had 7 field goal attempts, and only made 1 basket out of those 7, right? You got to give me at least, he gives me 3 of those, right? Say one of those is a 3, and then, he's basically double digits at that point, right? So say another 3, let's say he gets 2 more baskets, which that isn't even great, but that would have been much better. He's looking at, close to double figures, 9, 10 points on the offense side of the basketball. Again, I don't necessarily expect him to, in 7 shots, go and get, go 7 of 7 for 20 points or whatever. I'd love it, but I think realistically, again, he's kind of going to be an afterthought in a lot of ways, at least on the offense side from what we've seen, which I don't necessarily like, but I'll touch on that here more in a moment. But you look at game 1, he had 7 points, shot 50% from the field, which efficiency-wise is good, but we need him to be a little more aggressive and demanding of the basketball and a little more the Lakers have to do a better job of getting him the basketball. It's another reason why I said game 1 I don't really put on Rui, right? Cuz again, he shot efficient, 50% from the field, 50% from 3, gave you 7 points on 4 shots. That's something that needs to happen. But rebounding the basketball, he needs to do a better job at finding ways to rebound the basketball and help on the glass, especially when he's down there and he's helping defend, Jokic, or, if he's defending Aaron Gordon or whatever, or just being down on the block somewhere to kind of protect the paint, right? Like, you need him to do a better job of boxing out and making sure he's securing rebounds. Right? Don't just stand there and assume that somebody else is going to grab it. You go grab it. You go get the basketball. But I'd also like to see the Lakers actually kind of call his number a few times. Right? I'm not saying you have to run, every possession. I'm not saying you have to give him 20 shot attempts. But if he could get, maybe 10, 8 to 10, right? And especially when the offense gets stagnant. We've had 2 games now where we've basically blown it because we just go on these streaks where we just cannot score the basketball. And it drives me crazy because it's like you got a guy in a Rui Hachimura. Maybe game 2, he might not have been able to do it. But like game 1, when your offense would stagnate, I just think Rui's a guy that put him on the block and run some plays through him. It's a guy that's incredibly efficient. He's one of the more efficient guys in the league, especially when it comes to the mid-range. He's in like the 89, 90 percentile, if I'm not mistaken, off the top of my head, as far as mid-range guys go. Right? Like, this is a guy that is also a very big mismatch for most of the guys on Denver. So, to me, it's like, okay, our offense is getting stagnant. Run the inside-out game. Get the ball down to Rui and let him go generate some offense. Get the ball down to Anthony Davis. Let him generate some offense. Right? And if you do stuff like that and Rui is effective and he is able to kind of go on these little spurts to help, keep your offense from getting stagnant, then I just think that that's going to have that impact and go a long way. But also it opens things up for everyone else because now, Denver's got to make that adjustment. If Rui rattles off, 6 to 8 straight points, because you're just, offense stagnant, you're just going down to him. Well, now they have to make the adjustment to try to stop him because it's like, man, we can't just keep letting him every possession go down and get a bucket. So now they gotta worry about him, which opens up more for Anthony Davis, which opens up more for LeBron James, which opens up more for D'Angelo Russell and Austin Reeves and whoever else is on the court. So I just think Rui can be the guy that can be kind of your Swiss Army knife that you can use to really take advantages in some mismatch areas and also kind of fix some of the stagnation you have as far as like going on these extended runs where you just can't score the basketball. Again, I'm not saying you have to run that play every single possession, but from all sides, from Darvin Ham, he needs to recognize those matchups. Our ball handlers, whether it's D'Lo, Reeves, Spence, Gabe, LeBron, whoever, needs to recognize those mismatches. And Rui needs to do a better job of just kind of establishing position, kind of not standing around, right? One of the things that I really liked about Rui this season is he wasn't settling, right? He was moving without the basketball. He was, when he did get the basketball, being aggressive and looking to find his shot. And I need to see more of that, right? Him and Austin Reeves have just looked a lot more just timid out there these first 2 games, which I think is really odd because Rui Hachimura and Austin Reeves were the 2 guys that showed up last time we played Denver in the playoffs. Rui Hachimura averaged 15 a game in that series, and Austin Reeves averaged 20. So it's just odd to me that like the 2 guys that had the most success as far as the role guys go against Denver are the 2 guys that are struggling the most. It's a little strange. But look, I have faith in these players. I really do. I've talked about it all season. And Rui has shown this season that he can be an impactful guy and be a guy that can really, be a difference maker out there on the basketball court. And I expect him to be that. And I believe he will be that. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say that Rui will be better, right? You're back home. You got to protect home court. Role guys usually play better at home, right? D'Lo's been better at home this year. Reeves, Rui, all of them. And I just think that these two home games are an opportunity to kind of get Rui, get Reeves going, get these guys back in order, get these guys flowing and building their confidence to rattle off these 2 wins, tie the series, and then go into game 5. And hopefully these guys are clicking and cooking, and maybe you could steal game 5. You never know. Again, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be tough, or it's going to be very tough. But I mean, look, you could easily make the argument the Lakers should be 2-0, right? I mean, granted, you could say the same thing about, last series where we got swept, where it's like, yeah, you can make the argument the Lakers should have won all 4 games. But I think that I've said it. I think this team is different. I think they're going to rattle off some wins. I think that they're going to solve that Rubik's Cube that is the Denver Nuggets. And I think the Lakers end up making this a series. We'll see. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? Do you trust Rui? Do you believe, he'll be fine? He's going to have a great game. He's going to bounce back at these home games. Do you think no? Like, Rui's he's not who we need him to be. How do you feel? Whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. Let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. Helps me enjoy these types of videos. I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.